Well, what a crazy night. Well, I'm just finishing up packing away and I found something in the back of my bivvy. Right, let's have a look. Welcome to Everything Carp Fishing. I'm back down my mid-Kent waters, hopefully try and catch a carp, so let's go. Well, I've come back to the same swim I fished last time when I was on here. This is the only area that I've caught carp so far, for a little while anyway. It's been quite a while since I've had one. Having my last session here definitely made me a bit more confident of what I was doing and a bit more about where I was fishing and where I was going to catch them from. Yeah, like I said, I've come back into the same swim I fished last time. I had a little look around to see what I could see in front of me because the weed in here was really bad, but at the moment it seems to be clearing, so every time I come here it's completely different. Sometimes it's really weedy, and sometimes it's moving off and the whole swim has completely got no weed in it whatsoever. So I had a little look and most of the weed is gone in this swim, which is really good. It's actually a bit more of a channel out in front of me of weed that's cleared, and I can finally see the bar that's actually in here. I couldn't see it before because there was so much weed, and I now realise that I was actually, last time I was fishing here, I was actually fishing just on the bar because there was so much weed I couldn't actually see it where it was, but I found firmer ground and I thought that was just a firmer area. It turns out that it's a raised bar. There's sort of only a foot on top of it of water. It's really shallow, and I think that is the reason why I picked up my birds constantly on that spot. I did get a carp on it, but now I'm thinking, yeah. So I have come a little bit more further back than I did last time. I've come at least a foot back from where I was fishing. So I'm hoping that will deter the birds a little bit. I'm fishing 2 rods on the same spot because that produced a couple of tench and a carp and a few birds as well, but I've decided to put 2 rods on this time. I am allowed to use 3 rods, but I haven't been able to use it because it's been so weedy, the lakes, and I just haven't been able to figure out where I was going to put it, so I never actually pull it out at any time when I was fishing previously. But now the weed is completely clear and I'm seeing more areas I can put rigs, and so I'm seeing more areas of an opportunity to put a 3rd rod out. So I put the 3rd rod out roughly where I put it before, but I've put it a little bit more further because when I brought it in a couple of times it was all weedy and leafy, so I didn't really want to go too close to this tree that's to the right of me where it's slightly more firmer. It's not in close anymore, which is a disappointment because, you know, you're going to get bites in that margin spot. It looks really good, but I think I need to be on a slightly firmer ground and make my rig and my bait presentable on top of it. So that's what I've done with that one. Having 2 rods on the spot that I caught carp last time and coming a little bit more back, stop them birds diving on me. Hopefully it produce more than 1 carp, or maybe a bigger one. Let's hope. I'm using Ronnie rigs on a helicopter tubing setup. I started using it a couple of sessions ago and I have actually really enjoyed using it at the moment because I've managed to get that hook bait away from that lead. I feel much more confident my rig has not been dragged into the silt that's in here. There's a lot of it in here and there's bits of weed and all sorts of stuff on the bottom. My hook baits are the same as last time, but 2 of them are on the drilled out bottom bait that I've actually plugged with a trimmed down yellow pop-up, so it sort of have a little bit of yellow sticking up at the top, And that is something that I like doing on most legs. I like to have a little bit of colour on top. I usually use plastic horn, but you can't use it here, so that's how I've got around it. And also it's got more buoyancy for the Ronnie rig, which you need. The other bait is a Plony wafter, and what I've done is I put one out on Plony wafter and one out on the little drilled down pop-up inside the bottom bait on the baited spot that I've put out, which is near the bar. And the other one is the same hook bait. I decided to try something a bit different on that bar because of the birds I had problems with last time. If a bird dives down, I pick just that one up. What I'll do is I change it to a Plony wafter, and hopefully they are less likely to see it. So the only reason I put it back on there is because that's the one I had the carp on last time. So that is the reason I've sort of stuck with that for now, and I'm going to see what happens. There's a lot of birds around, so I'm hoping they don't dive on my spot. I did put a couple of spoms out over each spot, just a couple. I haven't gone crazy with the bait. It's just what I've done is I've put out some chopped boilies and sort of mixed size pellets really. I've cut down on the pellets that are in there a little bit from last time. I've taken out anything that's too bright. Again, I'm trying to avoid those birds from diving down. So I put a few spoms on each one. You know, that's all it needs. The carp are moving around all the time. I've already seen at least 2 carp, and I've spoken to someone that's seen at least 4 or 5 carp in 2 different areas really, but he's seen them and they're around and they seem to be moving quite a bit at the moment, so hopefully it's not too long until I get a bite. Let's see. Well, it's been a couple of hours, nothing's really happened, apart from I saw a carp, looked around about sort of 20 pound, I think it was a common, swam straight over the rig and didn't want to do anything. I'm not really expecting anything until the morning. Yeah, everything comes alive in the morning and then the rest of the day nothing happens. They sort of, most of the species in here and the carp seem to just not do anything all day, and then first thing in the morning they go crazy and start feeding. So I think that is the time where I'm going to get something. Oh, I've had a few coot issues. One's dived down, picked up 1.5 boilies, and then dived down and picked up my rig, which was on the baited area with the 2 rods. He's picked up the one with the yellow on it, so I've changed it to a Plony wafter, and since then I haven't really had that much problems with them diving on that spot. They've been diving on the other spot, which is alright as well. They've pretty much eaten all the half boilies and things like that. I don't think they've picked up the rig. I might just put a few whole ones around it or something later when it gets a bit dark, because they don't seem to do huge amounts during the dark. The birds don't really do anything at all. They just sort of go away somewhere else and don't really come back until the morning, and then they start bothering you and start diving all over your spots when you're expecting to get a bite. So yeah. But I am really confident still. I still think there's a good chance of me getting something. Probably get it in the morning, but let's see. Well, what a crazy night. I spent most of the night fighting off coots or catching tench. I had 4 takes, and I landed 2 of the tench. The other 2 managed to get rid of the rig in the weed. Yeah, it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I got absolutely attacked by coots just as it was getting dark, and just into dark they were properly going for it and just eating everything and attacking all the rigs and the baits. I had to recast all the rods. Yeah, so that was fun. And then all the weed decided to dislodge from further down the lake and float all the way along here, so there's patches of weed all over the place floating on the surface. It's sort of drifting down. Some of it has drifted off and gone further up the lake, but it's mostly on the surface, so it's not too bad. As long as I get my line round it, it's not too bad. But it sort of dislodged. I think it's maybe because there was a bit of wind yesterday, and it may have moved it. Oh great! At the moment I've got a coot diving on my spot again. I've been attacked a couple of times this morning as well. I've seen 1 carp in the weed further down the lake. I can see from here. I saw it and then it spooked. It managed to see me from like 30 feet away, so yeah, it's not great at the moment. Yeah, and nothing really happened apart from coops this morning, so that's it. So that's my morning, and I'm hoping that all that disturbance is not too bad, and hopefully at some point in the next couple of hours a carp picks up one of my rigs. If not, then I tried. I really have tried. I've recast the rods, constantly changing all the hook baits and refreshing them and making sure they're not all ruined and damaged and everything, because of the coots and the tench and all the other things that have been moved and picked up. And yeah, so it's been in a right old night. I haven't had huge amounts of sleep at all. Probably had like an hour or 2 sleep all night. So I'm hoping it'll be worth it all and I'll get a take in the next sort of couple of hours. So let's see. Well, it looks like I'm not going to get a carp on this session. Plenty of tench, and I've caught plenty of coots as well, but no carp. It's been really hard. Looks like I've just had all the bad luck. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Well, I'm just finishing up packing away, and I found something in the back of my bivvy. Looks like he might have been there most of the night. Right, let's have a look.